Well, it's that time. We get to pull Burning Abyss out of the vault. All right, everybody. So this probably is something that people wanted me to post like day one when Genesys format was announced. But I have taken some time to think about it, and I'm glad I did, considering Konami did that point update within like 48 hours of them releasing the format, because I really wanted to play Burning Abyss in this format, and now I have a list that I think works for me. Maybe it'll work for other people too, I'm not sure, but I think that this is one of the better ideas that I've had as far as Burning Abyss goes lately, especially considering I'm not playing the current format anymore. I am only playing Goat, Edison, a little bit of Hat, and then now obviously Genesys being the new format that's been released. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the main deck here with the BA names. We have 3 Graph, 3 Seer, 3 Skarm. Those are all the 3 ofs. Shouldn't be too much of a surprise. I think 3 of each of those is probably pretty good this format. Then I play 2 Farfa. I don't think you need 3. I think 2 is perfectly fine. Then the 1 ofs, I play 1 Libic, 1 Calcab, and 1 Rubik. I don't play any of the other names. You will kind of see why as we progress through this. This card is actually very important in this list, and this card is kind of important in this list. But yeah, we're rolling with these, and I really like it. Next, we have 3 copies of Boyo. This card is crazy. Yeah, they didn't touch this engine at all for the format, so I figured what better thing to do than play, you know, a crazy engine that lets you access some awesome fusion stuff. Next, we have 3 copies of Fiendish Rhino Warrior. This card is basically another BA name. This plus any BA gets you to, like, you know, another graph, which gets you just more extension in your combos. So yeah, really strong card. Then 2 Tour Guide. These are 3 points apiece in Genesys format, so that will put us up to 6 points already. So yeah, we don't need to play 3 because of the limited point quantity. I really had to, you know, keep things super tight with this to keep it at 100 points. So those are the monster cards, though. Moving on to the spells, we do play the 1 copy of Mutiny in the Sky, which is searchable with your Boyo, and then obviously you can recur it over and over again, which is pretty cool. And then the only other spell that we play does have some point cost to it, and it's not a small cost. That is Graceful Charity. This card's 40 points. That already puts us to 46 points, which is a lot, but if you pitch 2 BA names, this card could actually be crazy. Depending on what you pitch, you can, you know, really kind of do a number on your opponent, or help yourself set up and extend, which is pretty cool. So that's really just 2 spells. I didn't need to play any more than that. Then the traps, we do play a lot of traps. We are playing 3 Fire Lake. I know this seems wild that we're playing 3 Fire Lake, but as you can tell, we already have 46 points allocated for, which means we're not playing Beatrice, because Beatrice is 100 points, and there's no reason to waste all 100 points on Beatrice when you can, you know, play just a more trap-based lineup. So I went with the Fire Lakes, and I think that they're pretty good in this version, to be honest with you. It's like we're playing BA in like 2014, 2015 all over again, pretty much, which is kind of neat, because you do have some more supporting engines, which are cool. Then 3 Torrential, because like this deck does not lose to Torrentialing itself. If anything, it's good because you just, you know, keep playing if you Torrential yourself. So yeah, card's always going to be crazy in the deck. Then I do play 6 discard traps, 3 Wing Blast, and 3 Dynamiscus. I think that all these are just pretty good choices as a whole. So rolling with these is probably a solid pick in this format. And next we have 2 rollback and 2 trap. to Trap Trick. Rollbacks are 7 points a piece, so that's 14 plus our current 46 that we already had. That already puts us to 60 points, which means we only have room for 40 more points in this deck. But I think that rollback is really, really good. You can copy a Fire Lake if you have it engraved, which is why, let me just go back here, which is why your Cagna is important, because your Cagna can send a Fire Lake, and if you have a rollback engrave, you can trigger the Fire Lake without having to tribute, because you don't pay cost when you use rollback's effect. You just get the effect of the card rather than paying cost. So yeah, 2 rollback. If I had like more room space wise, I would play the 3rd, but with the stuff that I wanted to play, I don't have that space, so we're going with that. That is the main deck though, should be a flat 40. I'm gonna go ahead and hop on over to the extra deck so you can see all the lovely fun things we are special summoning. All right, so starting our extra deck off, we are actually playing 3 Dante. Usually over the last several years, every list people have seen from me has had 2 Dantes, but we are playing 3 because it's actually kind of necessary in this format. You need to grind more, and making a 3rd Dante is definitely going to come up. So we're rolling with 3. Next, we have 2 copies of Breaksword. This card's pretty good. I think it's, you know, considering what we have available this format, I think it's a solid option. So we're rolling with the Breaksword, and I think it's definitely worth considering. Then 1 Ashura King. This card just attacks a bunch, which is pretty cool. It does require a minimum of 3 level 3 monsters, which honestly is fine. Like, you can play 3 BAs out pretty easily. Then we do play the Nightmare Shark. This can just be like a poke for a game or something if you need to. It's not like, you know, the best card in the deck, but it's something. Then we do have the Zeus package, and that of Fortune Tune, Downward Magician, and Zeus. Zeus is 20 points, so that does put us to 80 of our 100. So I think this is fully necessary though. Like, this is a phenomenal engine to play. If I had more space to play more Zeus, I would, but the points do not allow it. Then the last for the XYZ monsters is the F-Zero and the F-Zero Draco Future. This is the last 20 points that puts us to 100. So I think that this engine is pretty good. You know, yeah, like, I don't have too much else to say. This card is really solid. It's worth the 20 points. Yeah, good package to play. And then one of the super tech cards, I am playing the Virgil because I need more extra deck cards to play, and Virgil is technically a removal. So that is why I chose to play the Virgil and the Rubik. That way I can, you know, make this and actually do some stuff. And the cool thing with Virgil is when he hits the grave, you get the draw card. So this format is really, you're gonna have to be super innovative with deck building in this format, because deck building is probably the most important part of Genesys format from what I've seen so far. So yeah, I think playing techie cards can actually put in some work. So we're testing the Virgil and seeing where it goes. And lastly, we have 2 of the new fusion. I don't know if you would call this Luce or Luce, whatever. I've heard so many people say different pronunciations for this card's name. But yeah, this card is part of that Mutiny in the Sky engine. You can make this pretty easily, and it's just a huge beater, and it just protects your BA stuff, which is obviously, at the end of the day, super important. So being able to make a card like this does matter, and will definitely come up. You're 100% going to have this card come up probably 2 times. It puts in so much work. I think it's just a great card. So you will definitely be seeing this card get dropped in the deck. Not dropped out of the deck, but like dropped onto the field when you're playing the deck. I should be specific there. But that is the extra deck. We're going to hop on over to the side deck to show you what we're boarding here. All right, so side deck. There's going to be like this trend in this format where I have like some cards that are just identical in the side deck. It's just going to be the way it is, because there are some cards that I think are just so worth it. Especially in this deck. I think Lava Golem is phenomenal in this deck. you sack your opponent's stuff, you special 2 BAs, you attack with a Fortune Tune, then you go main 2, make Downward Zeus, and then like clear the board. And then on your opponent's turn, clear the board again. So yeah, Lava Golem is really, really good. Definitely gonna keep playing through that. 3 Dark Ruler. This is obviously a phenomenal card against anything that's going to combo. We don't have a defined meta at all yet for this format, but I think that having something like Dark Ruler probably going to be pretty important. So yeah, we'll roll with it. Then we have 3 Twisters for back row removal. Yeah, I don't have too much else to say about this. You could also spin back row with like Phoenix Wing. So yeah, you have some options there, which is nice. 3 Forbidden Apocrypha and 3 Grand Horn. These, in my opinion, are just some of the must-play cards in the side deck if you run out of points trying to make your main and extra deck super solid. I think that these are great cards that cost no points whatsoever to play, and I think that you need to have stuff like that in your arsenal. That way, if you go, okay, well, you know, I do have this deck that I want to, you know, show up with, but I need to make sure that I have some good side cards that don't interfere with my point ratios. Well, this is literally a negation of an inherent summon, and it changes the phase that your opponent is currently in, and this is just a board wipe against a bunch of matchups. So like, these 2 cards, in my opinion, absolutely phenomenal. You can't beat it. So that is it for the entirety of the deck, though. This deck is really, really cool in Genesys format. I think that it's got, you know, honestly, I think it's got a lot of potential. I'm not gonna lie. I think that there's a lot that can be done with this deck, and I think that, you know, it's definitely gonna catch people off guard. So I'm probably gonna be playing this a good amount. My initial versions were not playing certain cards, like the Graceful. I think that the Graceful is just such a good card. If you draw it, like, it's like, okay, like, this is crazy. Like, it just feels so good to be able to draw that. There are obviously other options that you can roll with, but I think that the Graceful is probably really, really good in this deck. That way you do have some form of draw power sitting in there for you to be able to hit and probably trigger some of your BA effects too, which is a huge benefit. But if you enjoyed the video, give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button so I can make more cool and awesome content like the video you just watched. And if you want to see more Genesys content, let me know down below, and I will continue to provide deck lists for decks that I want to play and will play / have played. So yeah, for right now, this is Drew Travel, the Burning Abyss, signing out.